everybody. This is Jay, and welcome to my Empire Season 4, Episode 11 recap. Remember to subscribe to my channel and also continue to support me on PayPal and Patreon. The links is in the description box below. Now, when we check in, we see Cookie and we see that Jamal got her a chef prepared some healthy vegan food for her for breakfast. Lucius got a little bracelet for her to monitor her heart. He's saying that this right here is going to make sure you safe. She say this is a fancy ankle monitor. He say no, that's going to give me a text if you your heart or anything get out of control, and that way we can both be monitoring your health. Then they may come in and say that these flowers is from Eddie, and he reading the card and it's saying Eddie want to apologize. They said, the kid said, man, is it really that bad? He said, man, we thought he was gonna stroke out on the floor. And then he's saying, yeah, he was really tripping pretty hard. This has been Lucius say, man, anyway, besides that, it's good that we all here together. And she say, are we all here together? Because it looked like somebody missing. And he said, well, he tried to kill me. And that's when Cookie said, it was at one point everybody at this table wanted you dead. So you need to get over that. And if you really love me, bring my Empire. We see Tiana rehearsing with her crew. Becky, she texted in something on Uber Eats, and then we see everybody getting their little dance group together, and then Hakeem walk in with his crew. We see the little choreographer and Tiana having a little beef, and then she say, the group ain't doing this right, doing that right. She said, just take a break. Then we see Hakeem, he walk up to talk to her. She like, I ain't got time for that. I don't want no shoulder to cry on. He like, ain't no tears. I'm here to rehearse. And Becky like, nah, y'all need to go. Y'all didn't reserve this space. Then Hakeem say, I don't reserve spaces, we own. And then Becky just manhandled him like she the bouncer and put him out the chair. And then we see Tiana talking to her little choreographer on the side. We see one of his crew take all the cupcakes. And so then she like, really? You gonna take all the cupcakes? You know she watching that snack buffet bar over there. And so then she like, where is she going? And the choreographer leaving. She like, she's worthless, so I fired her. So Becky like, really? Meanwhile, back at the house, we see Cookie and she reading. And then next thing you know, Portia come in with mail and she like, how Empire doing? Portia like, I can't tell you nothing about that. Lucius don't want me to. She like, see, what's stressing me out is not being there at Empire. Then Portia like, some girl Asia been calling you. She like, this ain't Asia, it's China, dummy. She like, oh, same thing. She like, well, send her over. Send a car for her. She like, you sure? She like, yeah, we was in the pen together. Meanwhile, we see Andre trying to catch up with Lucius, and he's saying he got to show him some paperwork. Lucius don't want to hear it, but he's like, look, these numbers, I've been doing it. Follow my gut. They don't add up. Eddie's behind this. He said, prove it to me. So then they go upstairs to the office. He going over the numbers. He's saying, look, Eddie's got all this these different companies, and what is Bluesy Adventure? What is She Dragon? He like, oh man, that's his ex-wife and this and that. So he's like, man, maybe he is behind it. Meanwhile, back at the house, we see Cookie, and she's getting served by the white waiter. We got China there, and China say, man, I'm proud of you. And then Cookie have a little flashback of when they was in the pen. She say, yeah, I wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for you and the crew. And so then Cookie, the waiter leave or whatever, and then she's talking to her and she's saying, yeah, so how the old crew doing, what's been going on? And she like, yeah, this and that, they've been doing good, we've been making it. And she like, yeah, what about Pound Cake? And she like, well, she ain't doing too good. And then she started flashing back about Pound Cake, and she remembered when Pound Cake tried to come and talk to her and try to apologize, and she wanted to say, Cookie, can I talk to you alone, please? And she wasn't trying to hear it at first, and she like, Pound Cake, you a snitch. You need to get up out of here. And she like, no, Cookie, I'm just trying to talk to you. And then everybody broke it up, and then she left. And she like, oh yeah, so what's going on with Pound Cake? Was she back in the pen? She like, yeah, she back in, but this time she in hospice. She like, hospice? What the hell wrong with her? And she like, yeah, she got cancer. it's pretty bad. Then Cookie like, what? She like, cancer. She like, yeah, sometimes you guess you really get what you deserve. And Cookie feeling salty now because Pound Cake dying, and she ain't gonna be able to get none of that German chocolate cake. Meanwhile, back on the other side of town, we see Jamal trying to test out his new music with Becky and the crew. And she said, "Here, we've been doing some studies. Check it out." And he like, studies, and he like, "Yeah, we tested it out, and your audience ain't looking for this. They don't like angry Jamal." He like, "Man, y'all just need to do your job, market the music. I'm sure the music will sell. I'm not pushing the narrative of being angry. I'm pushing the music for the narrative for this music. So, do your job and then make it work." Meanwhile, back in the studio, we see Shine, and he got some little white boy in there singing. We see Hakeem come in. He sit there talking to him. He say, "Man, you was right. I should have been focused on my music." He like, "I told you." And he like, "Who is this?" He like, "Oh man, this white boy. Could you do me a favor and talk to him?" He like, "Ain't no white boy in the world need a favor from me." He's like, "Could you help him out?" He like, "Don't no white boy need no help from me. Lucius taught me that." He like, "Man, you know what? Keep your music, keep your beats. I do it myself." And he walked out and he was like, "Yeah, I don't need your help, and I don't need to help him either." And so then he's flashback, and we see at the prison hospital Cookie and Portia there. And so then she like, "Nurse, can is such and such there?" She like, "We call her Pound Cake." She like, "Oh yeah, Pound Cake. Yeah, we know her. Yeah, she all right. She know you here. You be there in a second." And so Cookie looking around, and then she noticed these old dudes playing cards, and then that gave her another flashback. And so then she remembered when she was playing cards, and Pound Cake came and interrupted her right when Big Tiny from the Shy was and locked up with him. And so then she like, "Cookie, I want to talk to you." And so then they finally get to talk, and she like, "Look, Cookie, I know you mad, and you got every right to be, but I was just trying to do what I had to do for my baby. I kill everybody in there to get to my baby." And Cookie kind of understand it a little bit. She like, "But I'm truly sorry." She like, "I understand because it's your baby." She like, "But one thing I know is that dude there, he did something to make my baby disappear. And he's an evil bastard. He got my baby up out of here." And so Cookie remember that Burleson did that. And she like, "I never was able to find her in 5 years." So now Cookie's going to the door to see Pound Cake, and Pound Cake laid up in the bed looking all messed up. She like, "Hey Cake." And Pound Cake, ugh, she looking like she done spoiled, look like a Walking Dead cake or whatever. And so she like, "You looking good?" She like, "Oh, I know it's bad now, you lying to me." And she said, "So how's it going? Tell me about your glamorous life." She like, "Oh girl, my life, it ain't all that, this and that." She like, "Oh, so all the magazines lying on you now?" She like, "Oh girl, anyway, how you doing and stuff?" She like, "I'm hanging in here. And I just sometimes think about my daughter and what she up to." Cookie like, "You never found her?" She like, "Nope. And for all these years, I never found her. He made her disappear, and she don't even know." And then she started calling that dude, he's a monster. He ain't this, he ain't that. And so then Cookie was like, "I'm gonna find your baby for you, Pound Cake." And then Pound Cake started feeling better. She like, "I'm gonna help you find your baby before it's too late. We gonna find baby cakes." Then Pound Cake kind of smiled with looking like the Walking Dead, and they kind of little hugged it out before she left. So then they cut to the other part of the city, and then we see Hakeem, and he working on the music. And then we see the white dude walk in, and he like, "Hey man, I want to let you know that Shine, that help, that wasn't for me. But this music, you," he like, "Yeah." He like, "Man, this pretty tight, man. This sound like your last hit from one of your earlier albums." He like, "Yeah, that's what I'm going for." And then he started flowing a little bit of his lines or whatever as he walking away. And Hakeem kind of catches ear or whatever, and then he started trying to spit fire. He like, "Yeah, memorizing a line is one thing, rhyming your own stuff is another." So then he started flowing, and then Hakeem started paying attention. He looking, and then he kind of like had a couple good liners or whatever. And so then Hakeem, he get up like he about to walk out, but he turn off the light, and then he start rapping into the little light bulb over there on the desk, trying to flow. And then they kind of like having a little battle rap, hidden battle rap in the studio. He kicked a little popcorn on him or whatever, Dude kind of getting all infatuated by him. He hop up on top of the table. They dancing, they rapping at each other. And next thing you know, they done started a little friendship. Hakeem putting a little spotlight on him. He like, so man, what's up? He like, yeah, that was pretty good. Let's make something happen. And so then they shake up, dap up, show love. Then they on to the next one. Meanwhile, we see Lucius and Andre. They rolling in the car. They going to talk to Eddie's ex-wife to see what's going on, and then he get a little alert with the heart monitor from Cookie. So now, Lucius calling her up. He like, Cookie, what's going on? Because she was on the phone talking to Thirsty, trying to track down Burleson. And she like, what you doing? Why your heart rate all worked up? But you jogging? She like, no, I ain't jogging. I just got a little upset about something. I'm alright. And she like, alright. So they get off the phone. She about to take off the monitor. He get another alert, so he call her back. And he like, put it back on. She like, what you talking about? He like, put it back on. Either you died or it broke. So just put it back on. I know what you did. You took it off. And so she like, putting it back on. Portia laughs. She like, you need to shut up. Meanwhile, back at the office, we see Tiana, and she trying to put together a little outfit, and then we see Tori come up in there, and she talking about how she looking all like a Barbie doll, letting Eddie mess with her and this and that, and she like, don't hate. You know, I'm gonna be bigger than you ever was, and I don't gotta be high to do it. And so Tori's starting to get a little salty about that. She like, don't be mad at me. I don't see you giving back none of the hits Eddie gave you while you hating. And so then once she said, that she basically tweaked out. That's the only way she made her music. That kind of hurt her feelings. So she walked up out of there, went into the studio. And Jamal was talking to little Crisscross, and so he was talking about the beach. She kind of laid up against the wall, getting her head together. Then Jamal like, yeah, all right, Sheila. And then next thing you know, Crisscross, he about to leave up out of there. And so while he getting ready to leave, because they was talking about the music, and Jamal didn't like the beats, and so she's asking come over there and walk, because she heard the end of the conversation. And she like, so what's going on? You don't like that? And he like, man, no, man, I'm just not feeling this music. I just need to play it in front of a live crowd. And she like, well, maybe you ain't played it in front of the right live crowd. And so he probably thinking he want to go to the Blue Oyster Bar or something. Anyway, we see Andre and Lucius, and they come over to the tennis court, and they see She Dragon, and she playing tennis, and she look like a pregnant Venus Williams. And so he like, hey, what's up? And she like, oh my goodness, this is not Lucius lying. I thought we had security in this place. He like, oh, Celeste, I'm just here to talk to you. I just had a couple questions about She Dragon. She like, She Dragon? I don't know what you talking about. He like, come on now, you know you could talk to me. She like, if you think you gonna come here and strong arm me like you do your artist, you got me messed up. I think it's best if you get up out of here, because the last thing I need to do is talk to you, especially after you introduce my husband to that tramp. And so he like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. She like, anyway. And so then she started talking back to her little tennis coach, and they walk off. Meanwhile, they at the little restaurant at the tennis place, and Andre like, let me talk to her this time. And so he goes over, he like, Celeste, how you doing? And she like, oh, it's the smart lion cub. How you doing, Andre? And so then he talking, he like, yeah, I just was here a matter of transparency. And she like, what? He like, yeah, about the She Dragon Holdings. And so he sit down and he starts talking to her, and he's saying, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about She Dragon Holdings. And she like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Lucius walk on over, and he like, yeah, that deal that you all tried to put through, we canceled it. She like, Eddie said you guys were on board. And then he says, well, I assume he was giving you the same package he was giving his other wives. And he hand Lucius this paper, but it was blank. He like, yeah, her deal's the same as the other wives, right? And Lucius see his blank, but he go along with it. He like, oh yeah, you getting a salary position as well, right? And he like, oh yeah, Pop, she getting the salary along with the compensation. She like, salary that bitch. And he like, yeah, it's around 300. She like, what? And he like, man, no, 4, Pop. And so she get up, she said, he said that I was gonna make more money than anything and sell all my real estate and buy Empire stock. So to hell with him. And so then they cut to Cookie, and she's outside with Portia, and she's pulling up at Burleson house. And right before she go in, she take her bracelet off and put it on Portia and tell her to keep calm and don't take deep breaths. And she go inside. And so now she knock on the door, and then she talking, and this Burleson wife opened the door, and she like, oh hey, how you doing? It's you? And she like, yeah, is Burleson there? She like, Burleson? Oh, you mean Bo? And so then next thing you know, he come to the door. He like, well, hey Holloway, what are you doing here? And then she's sitting there, got the flashbacks of him kicking and beating on her and being an asshole. And then he like, come on in, what you doing, writing a book about me? It's writing a book, you want to put me in it? Come on in. And the wife all smiles and everything, and so she come on in. And he like, so how's it going? How's this book you writing? What you been up to? And she like, how's your kids? They like, oh, we don't have any kids. I was never able to have any. And the Cookie looked like, oh yeah, you got a kid, you just don't know about it. And he like, oh honey, we don't have to go into all of that right now. And so Cookie looking like this little snake. And he like, why don't you go and get us some drinks and stuff? And so when she walk away, he try to grab her. She like, get your hands off of me. He like, what the hell you doing here? It's illegal for you to be here. Next time you come, I'll shoot you. She said, I ain't scared of you. I had the governor in my house. I have your whole thing blown up. And so she's standing there. He like, you need to get out of here. What you want? He said, what you do with Pound Cake Baby? You killed that baby? He like, I ain't killed no baby. And she like, well, what you do? Because you made the baby disappear. And then he starts saying, well, that was a half white baby, and I had the baby adopted, and that baby was taken care of. And she like, well, you need to go ahead and find that baby. And then his wife come back in with the drinks or whatever, and then she like, the wife said, I got some lemonade and some pound cake. And she said, oh, it's good to see he still like eating pound cake. And then she left, and then she called on the phone to have Thirsty check out some stuff to see if it was good. Then she went back to the door. She like, look, I want to tell you something. Your husband, he's a rapist. He raped a girl in the prison. Her name was Pound Cake. Then also he beat us. He kicked us. He treated us like crap. He was not a good man. And then he walked in. He like, what the hell are you doing? She like, remember the face, Pound Cake. And then she turned around and she left. And then next thing you know, they cut back to Lucius and Andre, and he inside, and they working on the work to find out what Eddie was up to. And then Lucius say, whatever happened to the boy that always had my back? He says, Pop, ever since I was diagnosed with bipolar, you looked at me as damaged. He said, but you are damaged. He said, what about you? You're a sociopath. You got no remorse to anything you do. You damaged yourself. You should look in the mirror, Pop, before you go around and saying somebody else is damaged. And then Lucius kind of looked there stupid and got all into his feelings for a second, and then he walk off. And so then they come back to the white boy, and he in there rapping and everything. And everybody happy, he doing good. And then he like, they say, come on in. So he come in, and then Shine like, come on, man, it's time to celebrate. Let's go on over to the strip club. So then they go into the strip club, and he say, hey man, you alright, man? You ain't still sprung off an old girl. He like, come on, man. And so then as they walking, dude try to come with him, and he like, hold on, man, you can't come, man. You gotta clean up in here. He like, I can't go to the strip club. They like, nah, man, it's a mess in here. You gotta straighten up. You gotta pay your dues, young buck. And so they left him behind, and they walking, and right when he was leaving, he see Tiana practicing by herself. He like, hold up, man, I'll catch up with y'all later. They like, come on, man. And he like, yo, Tiana. And he walking over there, and she falls, so he run over there to her help, pick her up. And she like, I don't need no help. He like, come on, I'm just here, what's going on with you? And she like, I'm trying to work here, I'm trying to get things right for what I'm trying to do. And he like, all this stuff you doing, being mean to people, cussing people out, that ain't you. She like, what do you know? What are you up to? He like, well, so you trying to be perfect, that's why you wouldn't take my proposal. She like, I just don't need no distractions right now. He like, oh, so that's what I am, a distraction. And she like, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to have the best shot at this and make my career the best. And so he looks salty, so he walk off. And she kind of feel like a little remorse when she just kind of shut him down like that. Then they cut to Lil Jamal, and he in the club. He come in disguise. He trying to get his little music played. He get it to the DJ. DJ tell him he got new artist music to play. Everybody start bouncing in the club. Everybody like it. He getting a good reaction, and so now he feeling a little better about his little test. And then Tori go off to pop some pills in the corner. Now she done got all in her feelings because Tiana done shut her down, and so now they all smiling with each other. She probably trying to turn him straight. And meanwhile, we cut back to the house, and we see Lucius coming home, and he here to see Cookie, and he asked her about how her day went, and she kind of short. He like, so that's all you got for me? And she like, no, I'm just trying to do some things different. I'm putting money on the books for my girls. I know you say you want things to be back the way it was, but I want things to be different. I want things to be better. He like, so what, you leaving me? She like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't want to work for you. I want us to be partners, and I want to be part of this. He like, yeah, you my partner, I love you. And he start kissing her hand, getting all mushy, and they start having a little teary-eyed little conversation. And he like, Cookie, you my every kind of get up, and then they finally get face to face, and they get their first little kiss, slobbing, and bust some slobs and everything, and then they finally get a little kiss. Look like he might actually get some of that good for the first time in a long time. Let it marinate on them, and so then they kind of look at each other, and it seemed like it might be a happy ending on the way. But you know how it is with the Lions. It's always some drama coming up pretty soon. So it'll be interesting to see what happened with this next episode and how it turns out. Is he gonna get that third leg working, or what? Is he gonna have to take off that peg leg and use the kickstand, or what? We'll see. But in the end, thanks for checking out the video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check out my other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.